Hi, welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happenings in the YouTube Atheist Community, or non-community, to your preference. Anyway, the Amazing Atheist and Captain Awesome, they were together, so I'll do them together, sort of. They did this blog TV thing, and I actually showed up there, and it doesn't, you know, it's got some advantages and disadvantages, kind of like the stick cam thing, except you can't really talk back to them or anything. And you know, it's all text, and it goes, you know, when you have a full room like he did, 200 people or more, 260 or something, you know, it's like 5 million characters flying by a minute. You can't read any of the shit anyway. It's all nonsense. So anyway, it was just kind of stupid. But the weird thing was too, he you know, made a couple people moderators or whatever they're called, engineers or something they're called there. And they just kept kicking me out of the room. But you don't really get kicked out of the room. You can still listen. You just can't comment. And I never even made a comment, you know. And so it was kind of funny. Sorry, but the co-host thing didn't really work, and the two of them weren't really communicating because there was so much lag. There was like 20 seconds of 30 seconds of lag. It was really bad. But anyway, all right, so we'll just get to them individually. So the Amazing Atheist, well anyway, well maybe I'll do Captain Awesome first, just because it was really stupid. So even in this blog TV thing, he made this joke about this poltergeist joke. Apparently it's this big running joke for weeks and months and years now. You know, it has to do with this story where, you know, you're banging a girl from behind, and she's, you know, you're banging her into a window so she can look out the window, and you have your friend hide in the closet, and then you switch places and have him bang her without her knowing it, and then you go outside and, you know, hi, like, you know, in the window, and she's going to see that even though she didn't notice you changing places. It's a big funny joke. And TJ, you know, when Captain Awesome told the joke, he was like, oh, that's too funny, man, or something like that. His usual statement. It usually means when he says something like that, like, oh, you're so lame, it's disgusting. But that's the best he could do. But anyway, it's just so stupid. And then Captain Awesome, you know, so he did a video on his poltergeist story, which is just so stupid. I mean, it'd be easier to clone yourself a goddamn twin than to be able to pull this fucking joke off. And even if you did pull it off, what's the end result? Oh yeah, I just had my friend fuck my girlfriend. That makes sense. You know, Jesus, it's just so stupid. You know, but then he did a second video, two-part video on, you know, how to do oral sex thing, and it was just, you know, how to blow a woman off, basically. And, oh man, Jesus Christ, I almost threw up a couple of times. It's just too disgusting, him licking his fingers and shit. It was just, ugh. But it's just such a joke. He's giving sex advice when he thinks this poltergeist thing is a funny, like a realistic even joke or prank or whatever he wants to call it. Like, that's physically possible that you could pull that fucking thing off. That you could actually, you know, yeah, right, you pull out of a woman and have somebody else go in, you know, and you're somehow going to explain that, and she's not going to notice that the explanation is shit. I mean, come on. This is, wait, she has to be drunk, so drunk that she's not going to be able to, I mean, how do you even engineer this out the window thing? I mean, the whole thing is just so crazy, insane, stupid. And you're saying this guy's giving sex advice. But the advice wasn't bad, but it's still, it's just idiotic. So, fuck. I mean, he's really, I thought he jumped the shark when I interviewed him, but now he's really jumped the shark. Like he's so far out over the ocean, he's just never coming home. But anyway. So now on to TAA, you know, the Amazing Atheist. So he did this stupid blog TV thing, and he says this dumb ass shit again. He goes on with this dumb shit, and it's just so irritating that he just won't let some of it go. So again, he mentioned population, and oh yeah, we don't need to control the population. There's no such thing as overpopulation. It's like he doesn't even acknowledge the very concept of limited resources and polluted air, and you know, the idea that the world can only absorb so much human shit. None of that even, you know, the obvious things don't even enter his brain. He just goes by some dumb equation like, well, there's plenty of trees still left to be cut down. You know, I mean, it's just, oh, God, it's just so stupid. And then he says, oh, yeah, there's no point in voting. So this is a great, you know, a great spokesperson for anything, right? Don't vote. Yeah, what a great message. There's no difference, right? Yeah, just no possible difference. Can't possibly be a difference. It's just, you know, it's, I mean, how big, it's a cavernous difference. I mean, obviously it's another cavern to get to a real rational government, but there's a huge difference between shit and like toxic radioactive nuclear waste. I mean, those are two hugely different things. I mean, they're both suck, but there's a big difference between like a messy diaper and a radioactive diaper. Fuck you. Nobody with a brain could advocate not voting. You might as well exercise what little tiny bit of power you have. You might as well fucking use it. I mean, it really isn't that much work. Oh, fucking lazy fucks. Just being, I'm so fucking radical. I'm too radical for my democracy. I'm too sexy for my democracy. Fuck you, you assholes. Alright, so I think that's really, do I have to go further? Well, I mean, he does do the other stupid idiots, Dear TJ thing, and so, yeah, I watched, skip through it. I watched a total of, 45 seconds, the same dopey, stupid questions. I put the condom on my head, how come it didn't work? Some kind of dumb stuff like that. And then he said something about some dumbest generation video. Yeah, well, it's just stupid. I mean, the Greatest Generation book by that Brokaw guy was a bunch of propaganda bullshit. The generations aren't generations. It really doesn't, fuck this classifying and generalizing about people. It really doesn't go anywhere. I mean, obviously everybody grows up in a different generation. I mean, the Greatest Generation grew up in like an atmosphere of fucktarded stupidity, so they did whatever they had to do. So yeah, this generation has more information. They got a lot more distractions. They got video games, all kinds of shit. So yeah, they might be a bit fucktarded because of some of that shit. They might be, but there's always generation gaps. I mean, we all get gapped. It's just a fact. We get fucking gapped. Some of the gaps are legitimate, and some of them are just bullshit. It's just change the color of the bone in our nose kind of gaps. So anyway, enough of that shit, enough TJ crap, but there really wasn't much going on YouTube. So anyway, some chick apparently made some video. I don't remember her name or whatever, but she has this dumb question, what is the purpose of life? I mean, she's a nice girl, cute and all, but it's just such a joke, because, she's got like 3 video responses, and, all 3 of them I'm subscribed to. And so we all just say the purpose of life is to chase women, because that's obviously what's going on. So anyway, Matt responded to her, and just again with the love word, and that's the purpose of life, is love. Fulfill our biological DNA purpose, and wallow in our addiction, and that's our purpose. Yeah, do what the microbes and the bacterias do what the DNA tells you to do. Don't use your brain though. Fuck that. Anyway, so moving on. N.D. Clark. He always responds to the 2 very serious videos. He's always up her ass for some reason. And I'll just go brag on her for a little bit. She comments on the Ask Skanarf videos, and Skanarfy made, I guess, some video where she's, it's a picture of me and whatever music and some statement that, I'm apparently just not good enough for these real women, and it was just kind of funny. And to be serious, made some sort of comment that she'd likely be disappointed, if she had me. Yeah, well, I guess we're never really gonna know, are we? So whatever, but I wouldn't bet on it. But anyway, we'll move on to something else. Maybe we should have a bet on that. Yeah. We could just, for that reason alone, we could just contrive an interaction, and just to see, just to have a nice friendly bet and see if she would be disappointed. Anyway, so N.D. Clark, whoring up her ass, did this stupid video on this idea of immortality. Like somehow you download your essence into a machine, and then the machine is you because it has all your thoughts. Unfortunately, it's not going to be able to duplicate a feeling, so I don't think it's going to matter much. But anyway, immortality, it really doesn't matter. We already have immortality. We're just too stupid to realize it. It really is the same thing. There isn't enough difference between these 6 billion people to make a goddamn bit of difference. it really doesn't make a difference. The future is the same as the present, is the same as the past. It's all the same thing. It's all the same biological organism chasing. We're not really that distinct enough. We have the illusion that we're somehow unique and different, but it's like a snowflake. They're all different, but who the fuck cares? They're all fucking snowflakes. That's our immortality. Grow up, people. So then did another video on the beginning, you know, how who cares what the beginning is? The only part that really matters is understanding whether or not it's rational or irrational, whether or not it has any kind of utility or not, whether this whole creation thing is doing anything. That's the question to answer. So do all these solar systems and galaxies and swarms and this and that, black holes and all this other bullshit, does it really mean a motherfucking thing? Does it add up to anything? I mean, and then our consciousness, was it really created for a purpose? Does it have any utility beyond being capable of making us hungry and addicted to things we need to survive? You know, beyond the DNA's use for it, is it really accomplishing anything? I think if we seriously ask those questions, the serious answer is going to be no. Man, am I going to run out of time. I just did run out of time. Well,